Week 142 is here, and really the same story as last week. It's all about jobs, jobs, jobs. What is going to happen to jobs going forward? And I'm not just talking about the kind of jobs that were affected during the beginning of COVID. I'm talking about the kind of jobs that are in the typical home buyer and seller demographic, like those big paying tech jobs that are being lost every single day in Canada, not just the States. So this is a very important topic. That is something I'm going to be talking about a lot over the next few weeks. And if you're new here, hopefully you're not, because well, maybe you are. I don't know. Our subscriber count has been improving, which is fantastic. Got a goal to get to 300 subscribers pretty soon. So hopefully you can share and help me with that. But really, what we're talking about here is the only market report that has covered the Toronto real estate market in five specific communities, like the urban market, which is essentially the downtown area and surrounding urban communities. Think Roncesvalles, Leslieville, that sort of thing, as well as the north luxury markets up to the 401 through Rosedale, etc., and then up Kingston Road through Port, up and right up and through Highland Creek, Port Union, and of course Birchcliff and Leaside, Davisville, Yonge, and Eglinton. Those are the kind of markets we're talking about when you're reading this blog, and we will be starting Durham. There's no definite time on that yet, but I'm aiming for December for that. But that's what we're talking about here. And tracking the market weekly has allowed me to spot a lot of trends before anybody is really reporting on those things. So, what we're talking about right now, though, is what is happening with the jobs in Toronto. Another, and this is relevant to the real estate space, is we've had one of these disruptors come in and out again called Properly. I'm sure you've heard of this company. They've got the Property Brothers, those attractive guys that you see on all these billboards telling you how they're going to make your home buying and selling process super easy. But again, it's just another tech company that does not feel the human being is necessary in the whole real estate world. And they're trying to get their technology to replace everything that we do. But as soon as the market turns, well, as soon as the market turns, then they tend to take off. They tend to, investors get scared. There's no more money coming into the companies. And honestly, I'm really, really, really surprised how a company like this, a real estate brokerage that was getting a little bit of traction, but raised over $190 million since its inception, with 36 of that coming this past August. And the basic premise behind this particular company was that they would guarantee you a certain amount of money for your house if it didn't sell and help you get into that next property. And they were obviously doing well during 2020 and 2021 and the early part of 2022 when there was very little risk of a property not selling. They raised a whole bunch of money and to help buy these homes for clients to help their moves be a little bit easier. But now that the market has turned, those homes have a higher chance of not selling. So they'll be sitting on these properties that they have to buy off of their clients. And really, like, what are they going to do? I don't understand how that was helpful during a booming market where your property was going to sell anyway. But whatever. At the end of the day, companies like this, Properly, and many other tech companies out of the real estate space are firing a lot of employees right now, laying off, firing, whatever the term is you want me to use. And that is going to affect our market even more. And this December the 7th, when the next interest rate hike comes, we're going to see some more buyers removed from the market. Now, the only thing that's going to keep buyers in the market after this December 7th announcement and the further announcements is if they need to make some changes to the stress test. Because, like, if you're a buyer right now, you are being qualified at a rate 2% higher than the bank's posted rate or whatever rate it is that you're getting. So everybody who's getting a mortgage right now is essentially qualifying at around 8%. At 8%, that's a massive rate to be qualifying at. So, I mean, number one, that should make you feel pretty comfortable in the market in general, understanding that buyers are not in an over leveraged position here and generally are qualifying at a massive interest rate that they're not even close to. So, there's a lot of comfort for me there. But if these rates continue to rise, that stress test, that 2% spread is going to consistently be there. It's essentially going to make it virtually impossible for anybody to be able to afford to buy any real estate in the entry level market anyway, because a lot of the luxury markets or higher end properties tend to be little more cash heavy purchases. But I feel like there's going to be an announcement about stress tests going forward. I don't see them completely eliminating the stress test, but I do see some sort of flexibility in that 2% spread. So maybe that will change a little bit. We'll see. But another conversation that I was having this week with another agent, and I really am interested when an agent makes comments like this, and then they draw a conclusion without doing any sort of research. It really makes me wonder, like how they're handling their actual clients as well, how they even get any clients, if I'm honest. But this particular person was telling me how they saw that there was a power of sale. A power of sale is when a bank forces the property to go to market to be able to recover some sort of delinquent mortgage. Somebody is not paying their mortgage, so at some point down that line, it triggers the power of sale, in which case the bank forces the sale, goes to the market, sells for market value. So a lot of people are kind of have this delusion, I guess is the term, that power of sales or bank sales are somehow fire sold and like they're super cheap. But really, they go to market just like any other property and sell at market value. But at the end of the day, this particular agent drew the conclusion that, oh, saw this power of sale, therefore there are a whole bunch of defaulted mortgages coming. But I mean, all you really have to do, and I'll simply show, and I'm showing you all of my emails. If you go to the CMHC website, and I believe I still have it somewhere down here. Let me find this for you in my downloads. You can get an entire spreadsheet of all of the delinquencies in the entire country. And so, like I was saying, if you just go to the CMHC website, you can just download this entire document, which shows the mortgage delinquency rate from 2012 until the latest numbers are 2022, the second quarter. And first of all, we can highlight Toronto, which I've already done here. And we go across and you see the top. This is the general Canadian delinquency average back in 2012 Q3 was 0.38%. What we're really concerned with is what's happening right now. We can see that it's essentially less than half of what it was in 2012 overall in Canada. So number one, let's stop worrying about these things because it's clearly not a major issue. And if we go down to Toronto, 0.06% of the mortgages that are in place are in some sort of default or delinquency state. So like this should immediately stop that kind of train of thought that there is some sort of mass delinquency problem. But this is lagging data here. So this is from August. Let's see what Q3 and Q4 present. But even if this number was doubled or tripled, we're still well within the Canadian average of today anyway, of 0.16. And we're not anywhere near a position where a whole bunch of defaulted mortgages are going to be on the property. So this today, especially in 2022, it's very important you pay attention to who you're getting information from, because I am just absolutely tired of agents running their mouths and not understanding what really is happening out there. And of course, it's not just agents; it's a lot of people that are absorbing this content and just kind of drawing conclusions without any real research, and it's absolutely infuriating. So please take the time to send me a message so we can talk through whatever you're seeing out there, because if you really look at the numbers, and we can dig into the actual blog from this week again, and looking over here, we can see that I talk about a lot of this tech company stuff that I started with. But again, like if you look week over week, we had 505 listings this week. Looking at last week over here, we have 501, 1,583 for condos, and 1,589 for condos this week, with sales numbers fluctuating. So it's really, really important to kind of look at the supply side of things, look at the sales. We've maintained this level of supply with this extremely low sales activity for a number of months now. Nothing has happened to date that has triggered people to go to market in panic mode. And I don't see anything happening that will cause people to go to market in panic mode unless there are an insane number of jobs lost, high paying jobs lost with no hope of return. But at the end of the day, we have seen a number of luxury items start dropping in value right now. And cottages haven't been affected as much because there is still some good Airbnb revenue from those things. People are still spending some money, but there should be some tightening in your household right now as we come into the Christmas season, into the rest of into 2023. Things are going to be a little bit tight, so you should be holding a bit of a reserve right now. But people are going to be stopping, they're going to stop spending money on luxury items and vacations and cottages and things like that. The last thing people are going to let go is their principal residence, is their home. Sure, some investors are going to sell their investment properties because they're not willing to ride out any sort of short-term pain. But most intelligent investors that I speak to every single day are doing whatever they can to make sure that they can either increase the revenue from those properties by getting creative with some different rental options or whatever it is. Um, but they're making other lifestyle changes to make sure that they can hold on to their real estate portfolios. And that is where I'm focused. And that is where the majority of buyers and owners today are focused. So I really do see a fairly calm close out to this year without too much drama. But we really need to see what's going to happen on December the 7th with the next announcement and the announcements beyond that. I was speaking to somebody today who's quite well informed, and they seem to have the similar idea to me and some other very smart economists and other real estate professionals out there that 2023 is not going to be a very abundant year overall. 2023 is a great year for you to be building and getting yourself organized and prepared to take advantage of the market as it goes. But for us, our team itself is down about 25% in terms of our net revenues this year, our gross revenues this year. The market is down almost 50 in general in terms of sales activity, 70% in some sales in some markets. So we're well ahead of the market as a spring team because we've done a really good job of adding value to the real estate community during this time. So great advice for real estate agents out there would be to continue to push and build your systems and your processes and communicate with your clients very regularly about what's happening out there. And for those of you that are potential buyers or if you're sellers or whatever, there is absolutely no downside to reaching out and having a conversation with myself or any other member of the spring team so we can discuss what's going on in the market with your specific property on your specific street. This is a no obligation zone and no pressure zone. I just really enjoy having these conversations and making sure that I create an army of the most competent and informed buyers and sellers out there or property owners out there. It's also a no panic zone. The context is king, not content. So if you want to have that conversation, we are here. See you in week 143. We have our great Christmas event coming. So if you're a client of the spring team, make sure you click that link in the email and reserve your Christmas tree or your wreath. And you're going to get a photo with Santa Claus with us too. So thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.